Welcome to my channel. I'm Elizabeth Liz Muschett, and today is the Astrology Star Sisters talking about the snake year and your animal sign part 1. And my guest and Astrology Star Sister and friend Jennifer Ning is here joining me today. Hi Jennifer, how you doing?
Good. Hi, Liz. Hi, everyone.
So we're going to start today off with Chinese astrology. So to get a hold of Jennifer, her website is it's jeningress.com. Sorry about that. And my
Mhm.
website is alightpath.com. And we enjoy hearing from you. And I'll let you take it away.
Okay. Thanks, Liz. I appreciate the feedback that you shared on the last video about what to expect for the year of the snake that we are restarting. And some of the main themes were um, networking, a need for survival, uh, appropriate timing, and priorities. And some of you wanted to know what it might bring for your own Abachi or Four Pillars natal chart. So, what I wanted to do is just give a really brief overview of the 12 animals of the Chinese zodiac, and each animal is assigned a specific year. So, we're looking at like a 12-year cycle, and they go in the order of rat, ox, tiger, rabbit, dragon, snake, horse, goat, monkey, rooster, dog, and boar. And it does follow a Jupiter timing cycle. And that is probably what most people are familiar with because it comes up in the news every Lunar New Year. And I say Lunar New Year because many other countries and cultures in Asia also practice what we can also call Chinese New Year. But to make it more inclusive, it's Lunar New Year because it's celebrated in Vietnam, Singapore, Malaysia, Taiwan.
In
And
Thailand, I know.
yes, thank you. And most people are aware of one animal, which is their year animal, similar to people who are familiar with their sun sign, tropical zodiac, being, I'm an Aries or Taurus or Libra or Scorpio or Aquarius, or we're in the sun sign of Pisces right now, coming near the end of it. But there's more to the Batji or four pillars. Each individual actually has four animals. And there's an animal, one of the 12 animals for the year, month, day, and hour. And what I'm going to do today is just touch on some of the relationships that the year of the snake or the snake has with some of the animals. So this is part one. I'm going to cover the remaining 5 animals in the next podcast episode.
Oh, that sounds really interesting. And I'm looking forward to you sharing with us.
This is another uh, representative of the 12 animals of the zodiac, but also their connections to the magic square, which we use in Feng Shui. And they are both connected in Feng Shui, can be considered terrestrial Chinese astrology, and it's also connected to the trigrams that are aligned with the directions. And these trigrams form the 64 hexagrams of the I Ching. So the animals,
Fascinating.
they all have these deeper connections. And today I'm only focusing on the animal relationships. And the first one is the business and commerce triad, where the ox, rooster, and snake, when they form a triad, um, it gives a focus on, it's like a culmination of application and endurance. The ox is a very hardworking animal. One of the folklore stories was that the ox was given to from the heavens down to the earth to help mankind or humankind um, with their survival. So the ox uh, is a farm animal, and it it works very hard to plow. the soil, for agriculture. And the ox individual, so the ox has a lot of endurance and stability. It likes schedules, predictability. It can be a little bit, it respects or it defers to authority or the structures of authority and rules. Is also very nurturing. And then the rooster is also a very good archetype that is very resourceful and is good at application. You think of the little red hen, that Western um, folk tale of the little red hen, and is gathering seeds in preparation for the fall, while the other animals are lazing around and not helping the little red hen. And then by the time um, fall and winter comes, the little red hen's got their storage of seeds. So it's planning and predicting and detail oriented. Is very proud of the work it does. And then the snake, just to recap, is quite can be shrewd or calculating. It's very good at making judgments and good at handling or keeping or saving money. And so combined together, the ox, rooster, and snake, the ox bringing endurance, uh, and the rooster bringing resourcefulness, and the snake being able to handle money well and making necessary decisions. Those three together are part of a set of business skills required in commerce. So if you have um, rooster in your for one of your four animals, or ox in one of the four animals, and you're interested in business, or you have a business, this year of the snake can help you with your business, as long as you're um, conscious and trying to channel that energy. It can help you pay more attention to your business plan and budgeting, because it's a year to be scrappy and creative. And if you have the rooster and it's the year of the snake in January of 2026, that can be a important change for your business. And I say change because it depends. These animals work together and they complement each other, but depending on each individual's elements or transformational phases, it can the change can be positive, but it also adds some stress, just depending on the chart that you have. But Oprah has this um, trinity. So let's just born with these three animals in her natal chart and look at the empire that she has built.
Oh,
Give you
amazing.
a sense of these
So
this
maybe if you
synergy.
hire somebody for your business and your skills aren't as good as you'd like them to be, maybe they could really help you with that, or a coach or a business
Mhm.
um, consultant maybe would be good with those if you could find out.
Yeah, if you have the rooster, this might be a time to partner with somebody who has who is ox, and vice versa.
Oh, that's very interesting. Thanks for sharing that.
All right. The next is a clashing pair, like in our life and the Taoist philosophy of um, shadow and light. That there is like you can't experience joy and love without knowing what pain and sorrow is. So there's configurations that are helpful and uh, give a boost, and then there are configurations that are more challenging. And just like in Western astrology, we have our zodiacal pairs of Aries, Libra, Taurus, Scorpio, Cancer, Capricorn, that kind of thing. So with Chinese astrology, it's the boar or pig and the snake that uh, translation wise, they could be called enemies or clashing pair. And this is because their mode of operandi operating is completely opposite. So it's like oil and water. They don't mix well together because they're just chemically uh, they don't interact well. And so the boar is very forgiving, compassionate, um, in the sense non-judgmental, accepting, where the snake is more calculating, discerning. It's got like, this is authentic, this is acceptable, and this is not. And the snake can really be like harshly judgmental with the boar. The snake can act very quickly and strike suddenly, where the boar is, not considered an animal of speed, but I guess anybody who's been chased by a wild boar in the in the wilderness, I could probably disagree. But when we think of the boar, the pig, we don't really think of them as agile like a tiger or a snake. And so these two together can create challenges. So if you have a pig or predominance of pig in your chart, like you have the pig in your day pillar or hour pillar, this could be a year where you might feel you're getting slack and feeling things aren't up to snuff, and you have to constantly feel like, what am I doing wrong? I don't feel like I'm doing anything wrong, but I'm kind of getting um, criticized or have to improve things, and I'm already doing the best. So that's a very, not a pleasant experience to go through, feeling that you are who you are and doing what you're best at, and it's kind of not not getting recognized. And sometimes that sucks because it can be part of life. I remember listening to a Navy SEAL. Um, I'm not great with the military, but there was this former head of the Navy SEAL giving address of graduation address, and 10 things that they learned from being in the military. And one of the things they called was like a sugar cookie. Basically, doesn't matter how well of a job you did, or that you didn't make any mistakes. At the end of the day, one of the members was going to be picked to, after the day was over, to go um, in their uniform in the water and roll around in the sand and then do like more push-ups. And that was just like kind of a life lesson that doesn't matter like how hard you try or what you do, you're going to be the sugar cookie. And um so this could be a challenging energy, if you're, water and then you're in oil and it's just not gelling. So it doesn't mean don't try to adjust, but if you have the snake and around November, that would be, maybe a challenging time for, in general, every year, because November is the month of the Chinese solar term of the pig.
So maybe if you were the pig, and this might be a year that you just want to be gentle with yourself and do good self-care, and maybe take action next year, it would be maybe easier to flow, perhaps, or no?
Yeah, yes. And for the pig, maybe bring in some talismans with the rabbit and goat, because that might subdue the energy of the snake year.
And remember that this too shall pass. It just might take a year, but a year goes pretty fast nowadays.
Yes. And so these might be conflicts that just don't make sense. There's no reason, but they're happening. And
That's good information to know.
with another pair is called hidden foe, which also the tiger and the snake might influence individuals to be indecisive, not make or make hasty decisions. So this is if and we just are we're finishing the month of the Chinese solar term of the tiger in February. So for those born the beginning of February to the beginning of March, this might have just been a trickier month. I think it was kind of a tricky month for everybody, particularly with the American politics happening, and there was a lot of you could even say indecision with tariffs being or communicated that they were going to be imposed, and then we managed to have it delayed, and so that's past now. But for people with a tiger in their chart, um, journaling and being clear on priorities can help mitigate that.
That's good to know. Yes, and it's sure been changing from day to day and hour to hour sometimes, or if every few days. So breathe and we'll get through it.
And this is because the tiger is very quick to jump in and take action. It's the animal that operates really well under crisis. The tiger is a very powerful energy. It can take on anything. It is fast acting, and the snake can be fast acting as well. But remember, the snake is reserved as well, and it's observant, and it assesses and analyzes and judges before it acts. So there is this um, push and pull of the tiger just wants to leap in there and just jump in and act, but then the snake is like saying, wait a minute, should I act? Is this a good time? Do I feel like it? So you have these two combined energies that can lead to either hasty decisions or too much contemplation and indecision. So, kind of going from the tiger to the snake and then trying to resolve these two energies can sometimes end up in either making a decision too soon or too hastily, or deferring and thinking about it, and then the opportunity's gone, or you just can't decide. And then if we just go back to the previous slide, when we combine the boar and the monkey and the tiger and the snake, we have a group of four that is called the four steeds or winds of change. So any combination of these animals invoke physical movement of job change, home change, travel, whether it's chosen, the individual is seeking this out, or it's coming from external um, pressures, or like your employer says, I'm relocating you, or whatever it is, the reason where you have to move your office or where you work.
So, yes, some of the companies are calling people back to work that have been, since COVID, they got to work from home, and some people don't like that too much.
That's a great observation, yeah. And then in contrast to the hidden foe, we have the secret friend, which is the monkey and the snake. And typically, this brings a positive change that is somewhat faded. And there is a complement that could be um, in simpatico, but it could also be require some adjustment. So just like the Trinity, where you have this combination and it can be helpful, it depending on the elemental makeup of the chart, which is what I'm going to talk about in the next episode. Um, it could, it's not like it's just a gift and it just is a great change. It could be um, taxing or stressful in some way, but not necessarily, just depends on the individual's natal chart. And then lastly, the dragon and the snake highlight, or they're the two mystical and metaphysical animals. So for those individuals who turned 60 last year and they're entering they're entering a phase of rebirth after 60, this could be a very philosophical year, a year where you're seeking out like what's the deeper meaning behind life for you, seeking out astrology readings or metaphysical um, spirituality, maybe expanding on, you know, the makeup of the universe. I mean, just recently, um, a set of astronomers discovered 128 more moons um, that Saturn had that we didn't even know about.
Wow, that's amazing. I haven't heard that one yet.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
So that covers basically 7 out of the 12 animals. And in the next episode, I'll touch on the rat, rabbit, horse, goat, and dog.
Well, thank you for sharing all that with us and myself. I find it so fascinating because there's so many different aspects of astrology, just like we have so many different kinds of doctors. It's like we have different ways to look at it, and it just adds more information. And I find it informative, and I'm enjoying it. So I want to thank you, Jen, for joining us today, and I look forward to your next episode. And for those of you that would like to know about your own personal Chinese astrology, you can contact Jennifer for a consultation. And her website is jeningress.com. And I'll let you kind of talk about what you have here on your slide if you don't mind.
Yes, so courses are opening this month of April, as well as I'm part of the Astro College free community that you can join, and there are free events that are happening regularly, as well as I'll be doing some talks, professional astrology talks coming up in June, September, October, and November. And the ones in the fall are going to be focused on Chinese astrology.
So your course that you have in April, is that on Chinese astrology and feng shui?
Yes, as well as a beginner for introduction to Western astrology.
Okay. Thank you. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, it's a course I developed myself, and I'll also hopefully be teaching for this spring term with the International Academy of Astrology.
Oh, I'm interested. So, Jennifer and I both do consultations and have newsletters, and we appreciate you contacting us for consultations and signing up for our newsletters. And of course, I have a YouTube channel, so I appreciate you subscribing to my YouTube channel and giving us a like. Other episodes with Astrology Star Sister are decans using astrology and tarot, dwarf planets, fixed stars, planet stationing, Uranian astrology, and Venus star point. And Justin and I do the astrology forecast and the full moon forecast every month, and from time to time, the Chiron asteroid series. And there's still a couple shows for the 2025 astrological highlights. And a new show coming is magical astrology and a relationship astrology episode. And I will be on Talk Cosmos on March 30th at 1 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Sorry, it says standard, but I'm forgot to update that. And it's about the solar eclipse in Aries. So you can watch it live on my channel or come back and watch it at your convenience. And I want to thank all of you that have been here today watching this live, and all of you that come back and watch this live later or watch the episode later. I appreciate your supporting our channel and joining us. And again, to get a hold of Jennifer, it's jeningress.com, and my website is A Light Path. And Jennifer, I want to thank you again for being here today and joining me. And we're going to say goodbye for now, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, Liz. It was fun.
Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone.